Welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn about namespaces. So I hope you remember we studied in the previous videos how we can have two functions with same name. We call it as function overloading. We used to have more than one function with the same name. Same way, there may be cases where you need to have more than one classes with the same name. Let us think what happens when we have more than one classes with same name. Why? Because every class may be written by different programmers, and there is no mechanism by which I can stop you or you can stop you from writing the class name which you have given for your class. And you should not say like no, others should not give this. There is no mechanism by which we can stop others writing your own class names. Okay, so let us see how we can overcome this. So namespace is going to prevent what you call the global pollution. So global pollution is nothing but so many classes, more than one class is going to have the same name. So the global namespace refers to the entire source code. So when you write a class and when you access it, this will be visible to the global namespace. So the default, by default, the name of each class will be visible to the entire source code. And what happens when we have more than two classes with the same name? Okay. So you look at the example where you can see we have a class called A. So this is defined inside a1.h. This is thing that this is written by somebody. We'll take it as X. And look at the second one. We have another header file where we have the same class. What is the class name? The class name is A. So in general, we have got two header files. In both the header files, we have got the same class. Now look at or come to the programmer's view. So where I'm going to include both the header file, I've included a1.h and a2.h. Now I'll create an object of class A. I'll be creating using the statement a obj. Now this is going to be an ambiguity. Why? Because we have got two classes with same name in both the header files. In class A is there in a1.h. At the same time, there is a class A in a2.h. So this is going to create an ambiguity for the compiler, and this will not get executed because there is no clarity. Okay. So what is solution for this? So before we see the solution, when we do write like this, what happened? So the both the classes are going to be mutually exclusive. They will not exist. There is no existence for these two classes, because when both the classes have the same name and that they are in the same place in the same program, if we try to use it, which is going to be invalid. That we call it as mutually exclusive. So what is solution for this? The solution is namespace. So using a namespace is a keyword. Using this namespace, we can overcome this. Okay. So let us see how we can overcome this. So let us see the first program, what changes we have made in the header file called a1.h, where we prefixed the class name with namespace and name for that, which we named it as a1. So we call it as the naming of namespace a1, and rest everything is same. There is no changes in this. Look at the second header file. There also we use the keyword namespace and we give the name for this, and rest everything is same. In namespace a1 as well as a2, we have a class called a. So enclosing two definitions of the class in a separate namespace is going to overcome this. Otherwise, there are a lot of ambiguities. Okay, so two definitions of the classes are put in two different namespace. So namespace is something like directories. So we are going to put these two classes in two different directories. So there is no ambiguity. Okay. So this is what now what happens as usual. I can write my main function where I have included a1.h and a2.h. Now, so when I create an object, I should make sure that from which namespace I'm going to use this. So here I can give, this is what the namespace a1. From namespace a1, I'm going to use the class a, and for that I'm going to create an object. Remember, so you have to prefix the name of the class while referring it anywhere in the source code. So we have seen this. So A is the source code. But before this, you have to give the namespace. So namespace, if you look at the second one, the namespace is A2 followed by the scope resolution operator. Then you have to give the class name, then the object name. So let me repeat. The corresponding namespace you have to write, which is followed by the scope resolution operator and must be prefixed to the name of the class while referring it anywhere in the source code. So this is a way we have to refer it. So there is no ambiguity, there is no confusion. So we are going to, we have created two objects successfully. So there is another way of using namespace. One is we call it as using directive. So let us see an example for this. Here also we have included two header files. One is a1.h, other one is a2.h, and this is what my main function, where you can find a using again. It's a keyword like namespace. So we call it as using directive. So if I write like this, under this or after this, whatever I write, that belongs to the namespace called A1. So I need not to mention this explicitly that this class A belongs to the namespace A1, because I've told very clearly using the directive that so whatever I'm going to write after this is going to be the part of namespace A1. So A obj1 is going to be an object of the class which belongs to the namespace A1. And if you are not happy writing that, you can write with the namespace, then you have to give the scope resolution operator, then you can give the class name, then give the object name. So which is going to resolve. So there are two ways by which we can eliminate the ambiguities created by two classes which have got same name. One is we can put them in different namespace. So when I say namespace, which is something like directories, we are going to place them in different directories so that we can avoid. And when you write the source code, we have to make sure that you are going to write the namespace which is followed by the scope resolution operator, then you have to give the class name, then object name. That is one way. Other way is just use the directive called using. You just write it as using, then give namespace and name of the namespace. So under the using directory, whatever you're going to write, which means the thing, the piece of code belongs to the namespace called that particular. If it is A1, that belongs to A1. So if you are not happy with that, we can write the previous way where you're going to write the namespace, scope resolution operator, then you're going to give the class name, then the object name. Okay, so now nothing to worry. We can write or we can have more than one class with same name provided they belongs to different namespace.